This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we are joined by Nate Casimiro from the podcast Nat1 Presents to geek out about episode 8 of WandaVision.
Geek boner.
Plus, the third Spider-Man movie has a title, a badly photoshopped image of Marvel's Eternals leaks, and J.J. Abrams is rebooting Superman.
What?
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 1st, 2021.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
That's right. What's up? Hello and welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the human soundboard jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, Lady Gaga's former dog walker, it's Rug Boy. What happened there, Rugs? The guy that got away from you?
Listen, these dogs shit a lot, and I wasn't paying attention.
All right, I understand.
And then, you know,
What happened?
I took a bullet. I took a bullet for these dogs.
You did. That was very brave of you, lady.
What,
You didn't
she
hear
lost some dogs?
You didn't hear about Lady Gaga's French bulldogs? We'll get to that in a second. Let me introduce our other guest, because joining us also today, very special guest from the podcast Nat1 Presents. It's Nate Casimiro. What's up, Nate?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Really excited to be here.
Hello, Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. I'm glad to meet you. Glad to have you on. Do you know about Lady Gaga's dog? Can you fill in Anthony? I'm surprised he hasn't heard about this story.
Yeah, so basically she had a professional dog walker with, I don't know how many dogs she had, but someone basically shot and stole her dogs. I think they have been returned at this point.
Yes, they have. The dog walker got shot like 4 times. She has 2 French bulldogs that were stolen, and then some lady found them tied up somewhere. They didn't even ask for a ransom. I don't know what the point of any of this was. Rugs, you got to keep those dogs on a leash a little bit tighter when you walk
It's
them.
hard. They
Jesus
outweigh
Christ.
me. They outweigh
It's a dark
me.
thing to joke about.
It's like an alternate Child's Play, like
Listen.
The dog walker got shot.
Yeah, he's fine,
Yes.
though. No, he's fine,
Oh,
and the dogs are
okay.
fine. Nobody died. It's not that dark. It just, there's a little
But why did
shooting
he
in
get
the
shot?
I don't know.
Well, I think this is my theory is, my working theory is that they were going to like do a ransom thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It got way too hot for them.
They just ditched the dogs.
Yeah, they just ditched it. Like they thought that they would be able to do it on the DL, but Lady Gaga got out in front of it and said, "Look, I'm going to give you anybody who can figure out who this fucker is $500,000."
And it got hot.
And it got hot for them, and so they just fucking bailed.
These people are idiots. People love their French bulldogs. Wait, back to Nate. Nate, you tell us a little bit about your show, Nat1 Presents. What do you do over there? And your co-host, who I'm told is also named Nate.
What the
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
2 Nates, 1 podcast. Don't look
Nice.
that up. But we are a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. We're kind of like D&D if it was mixed with Key and Peele. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're not like a Critical Role. We're just 2 goofy Nates trying to crack each other up, role play a little bit, and play some dice games.
That's
So
fun.
it's a two-player Dungeons and Dragons game, or you got a whole group or something.
So we bring on other guests occasionally. We kind of have like a guy backstage who will sometimes like DM for us. But yeah, we play it 2-player, which sounds really sad and depressing, and it is honestly. But like the game,
I just never heard of that before.
yeah. We have a lot of with COVID. Not everybody can find a group these days. You know,
Yeah,
some people
yeah,
are hopping
yeah.
on Discord, but some people just really have like their roommate or their spouse or whatever. So we're just trying to make it fun for everybody and accessible.
What is Dungeons and Dragons?
Listen, role-playing D&D, this is a huge industry. There's conventions. There's huge YouTube streamers. How big is this industry, Nate?
I mean, I don't. It's so big that Wizards of the Coast is going all in, and they're just dumping as much money as possible. It's not uncool to play D&D anymore.
Yeah,
It's
you
pretty
play-
par for
you-
the course.
It's a card game, and you do role play.
It's not a card game. Some people buy these books online. Basically, D&D puts out rule books and characters like rules. Like this is what a class and how it works and how you roll your stats. And then people can just roll dice and follow the rules, but they basically make up the rest of the story, the battle. So they just reference like sets of stats out of books, but then they make everything else up themselves, and then they roll dice
like
to
all
kind
the
of
board
decide.
pieces. I'm looking up like a giant castle with these little figurines.
It
Not a
really
giant castle.
We're not super into it. I would like to spend my money elsewhere, but a lot of people, they'll buy these little like miniatures are really popular in this industry, where you'll buy like a little like avatar to represent yourself, and then they'll buy environment pieces, and they'll be modular and move them around. So you can put as much, you can dump as much money as you want. It's kind of, if you've ever heard of like Warhammer, you could spend hundreds of dollars on these things, but you could also just literally buy one book for $40 and a set of dice, and you'd be good to go.
I mean, I've been working at playing D&D for like since I was like, I don't know, like 13 or something. I've never actually played. I have books. I have the Marvel ones. I have all the other. I have like Dragonlance and Ravenloft and all that stuff. Never played it. I just have the books. I know the rules.
You've just
I
bought
fucking
all
know
the stuff.
I just never played it with anyone. It's one of those things I could never find a group to play with, and then I always feel like I don't want to like play with complete strangers, or I don't want to seem like the person doesn't know shit. So I never actually did it. Yeah. But I am interested in this new kind of digital age of Dungeons and Dragons, where like it's literally like the board is all digital, like the pieces are all digital. There's 3D, like you can like turn the whole environment and shit. And there's like people doing really crazy shit.
Yeah. There's two really popular pieces of software. One's by the people who actually make Dungeons and Dragons, and so they have this whole like digital character sheet where you just answer yes or no questions, and then there's your character, because that can take like 30 minutes to make if you're working out of a book. And then there's a piece of software where you can just like make maps, and then everybody sees the same map, and they can move their digital tokens on there, and that's free. So those are the two. That's kind of how the game's evolving into this like online Discord community.
Wow.
So if you ever want to play rugs, but you have to be on cam, just so that I can see whether or not you're a possessed doll.
Well, that might be a deal breaker, but we could get him on cam. Ruts will do it.
I've been on cam before.
Yes, he has. But I'm Nate. I'm in the same place as Rug Boy. Like, I always wanted to play. I never got a chance to play. I remember in high school, I had bought this the Marvel Superheroes role-playing box game, and it had like the little cutouts in the stands. And then I realized, oh wait, you need to have friends to play this. And so the box never got used, and I never found anybody to play it. But for a beginner, I think we have some listeners who are into this and maybe want to do it. For a beginner now, what would you recommend? Where do you start? Do you start with the online stuff because it's easier?
Yeah. So, I mean, back in the day, I would have told you before the pandemic, go to the mall, go to your local game shop, and they're going to have like a weekly D&D night. That's what I did. And then quickly I found a couple people who were funny. The rest were awful. And then we just immediately took it to someone's house.
Then you go somewhere
else. That's how we wanted to play.
Yeah.
But today, just honestly go on like a Facebook group and just search like Dungeons and Dragons group, and then there's always people recruiting people for their new campaigns. So it's not super hard. Discord would probably be another great place if you just like search some of the different communities, or just, I don't know, email us at Nat1 Presents .com, and we'll get you. We'll find you a group. We'll make you a group.
There you go, listener. Right on. All right, Nate, glad to have you here. Let's geek out about some geek news.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
All right, after being trolled by Tom Holland and Zendaya and Jacob Batalon, Sony and Marvel finally revealed the Spider-Man 3 title. It is Spider-Man No Way Home. No way. Before I get to thoughts on that, no way. The fake titles were kind of funny. One was Spider-Man Home Slice. One was Spider-Man Phone Home. And then Spider-Man Home Wrecker. And some people actually thought that E.T.'s fucking catchphrase was going to be the Spider-Man title. I was like, this is not real. And then they put out this funny video with Spider-Man No Way Home and a dry erase board with a lot of fun stuff I want to talk about. But let's get to, what do you guys think about the title? Geek Boat?
Floppy Jock.
Geek Boner? Which way are we leading? Anthony?
Let me defer to the guest.
Okay, Nate, you're a guest.
Well, considering this it's unlikely, but it might be his last contract as Peter Parker. I think No Way Home is a fitting, if it's kind of dark, and I kind of like it. We've gone from him being like a teenager with Homecoming and now Far From Home, and now No Way Home is just like, it's dark, and I like it. That's what I'd like to see in this next one.
Well, at the end of Far From Home, he's kind of on the run. He's been outed. He's a criminal, I guess, in some people's eyes. And half of the public is rooting for him, and the other half wants to put him away. So, but does this hint at any of this multiverse madness with Jamie Foxx and a Doc Ock, Alfred Molina coming in? I don't know. Ruggs, what do you think about No Way Home?
What? It's a title. It's
Yeah,
fine.
all right.
I mean, it's not the. I mean, Homewrecker would have been more fun.
Homewrecker would have been funny.
But
Home Slice.
Yeah. But like, it sounds like they're. I mean, are they trying to telegraph the fact that he's not coming back? I don't know. It's weird. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what all this hubbub with all the different universes is about, and who all these guests that you're hearing, and all these kind of fucking cameos you're hearing about.
Geek boner. I mean, Tom Holland keeps saying in every interview that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are not in this movie, and I think the more he says it, the more I think they're in the fucking movie. Why do you keep saying this? Like, this is a reason. Anthony, No Way Home. Where are you landing on this?
So I think the first title, Homecoming, was fun.
Yeah.
It was, wink, wink, nod, nod. They're in high school, and the return of Spider-Man to the MCU.
Yep.
Far From Home and now No Way Home. I gotta admit, it's a little weak. These titles are weak. They're playing with the home thing. It's that I guess is fun, but they're not fun in like the sense of the other titles are either major comic book storylines or like things that just would get you excited, like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Ragnarok, Captain America Civil War,
Ant-Man 3 Quantumania. Even that one, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
They all just kind of bring intrigue, where No Way Home is just like, oh, okay, like something's happened and he can't come home. But the home thing has been like, I feel like it's run its course. But whatever, it's a title of a movie.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's no indication of what. It doesn't really give you any indication how the movie's going to turn out. I do think Tom Holland does. I'm reading your thing about him being this under final contract. I read somewhere that they do intend to sign him and hopefully do more Spider-Man films with him as an older Peter Parker. But we'll see.
Well, they got to re-up their deal, I guess, with Sony and negotiate.
I thought they had done that,
right?
And maybe I misread that, so I don't know.
He's going to get paid,
right? They're definitely going to be salary negotiations because Far From Home made $1 billion. First Spider-Man movie to make $1 billion. But I kind of agree. No Way Home. They kind of pigeonholed themselves with this home, using the word home, and I was like, it's all right. I mean,
they should have done, Home Alone.
Oh, well,
cast Macaulay Culkin as Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, my God. Holy shit, that would be actually really appropriate. Kevin McAllister hunting the best game ever.
Spider-Man. And like Spider-Man's like trapped in a house.
Kevin
Kevin McAllister's trying to get into the house.
Yeah.
Have you seen what he looks like today, though? That would be terrifying. I would not want modern day.
He looks like kind of like a little bit like a serial killer. He could play a serial killer.
He's probably the same height as Spider-Man.
What's his real name again?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Kevin. That a Home Alone on this whiteboard from the video where they released this. That's one of the ones on there, and it's crossed off, and it says copyright issues. Nate, what did you think of this whiteboard with some of these fun little names they thought of? Also, there's hexagons on here in the form of chemical compounds that may be Spider-Man's web fluid, but we know Marvel loves their hexagons.
Yeah, I love when they have fun with it. Like, this is the kind of promotional material I actually enjoy versus some of the garbage they put online. So I really dig. I'm guessing they probably still made this for promotional materials, and this wasn't the actual whiteboard. But it's still cool to see that they have a sense of humor. And like maybe some of these were actual considerations, which would be pretty cool for the people who like to overanalyze everything. There might be some good ones in there.
Yeah, they had webcamming, homesick, homeschooled, home sweet home, and some of the responses and the different colors, they kind of seem like they're from the different cast members.
I'm scrolling through pictures of Macaulay Culkin. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. What's he look like that? Does he look beat? What's he look like?
It's weird how kids grow up. I'll just say that. I wish he looked like a kid.
I mean, he was so adorable in Home Alone and Uncle. What's that one? With
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck with what's his name?
What about the one where he's a child killer? And
he kills
and he
swears. The good son. He was adorable while he was swimming.
In that.
Yeah. Elijah Wood. But man, is he fucking cute at Home Alone? You're just like, this is the most. But he's kind of like a real life Bart Simpson too in that movie. Plays it perfectly.
And we are now kicked off of Libsyn forever.
Why is that?
we're talking about like a little boy and saying how cute he is.
He was cute in that movie. I can't say
He was
that.
cute.
Well, I was once cute as well.
Yes.
And
Were
look what
you?
happened. Yeah.
We all
Were you
were.
ever a little boy?
I was a little Macaulay Culkin. I was exactly the same as Kevin McAllister.
I was like a little brown Macaulay Culkin.
Did you listen to this? We're taking this off the rails.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it though. You listened to him with Rogan a couple of years ago, and he sounds quite normal.
I wanted to hang out with him. He seemed really cool. I was like, this kid has a good head on his shoulders, despite what he's been through. He went through the thing, to try to get his money from his dad. The parents always screw these child actors because they're making millions. But he was pretty well adjusted compared to other kid actors that have gone through that. So,
and he's alive still, which is good.
yes, that's the most important thing. Like he's got this business, Bunny something. They make
He's like a painter or
comedy
some shit,
videos.
right?
Yeah, he's doing a bunch of things.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. So
I see him on Cinemassacre a lot.
Oh, really?
Really?
He jumps in there. Yeah.
He's on Cinemassacre?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
At least twice. At least twice I've seen him there.
Hey, what do you think about Home Alone? Is this a Christmas mainstay for you? Do you watch it every year?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, not every year, but just this year, actually, Netflix has like a how it's made like movie documentary.
Oh, yes.
And
That
Home
was
Alone
great.
is one
Yes.
of them, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think they remember they said that he was like, as a child actor, he was just like really fun to work with, and he was.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're gonna say that, but I want to believe it that he was just like super, just like excitable and
Like he
fun to
knew
work
all
with.
his lines and he knew everybody else's lines. He was super. He was good. Basically, he said no. I remember what he said on Rogan. Rogan was like, "What is a tip you would have to child actors?" And basically, he was like, "I got where I got because I could just remember shit really well. That's all it was. None of the other kids could have remembered their lines. I had a good memory. That was
He's dated some hot girls too.
Yeah.
Mila Kunis. He's now with Brenda Song.
Oh man! Oh man! Good for Macaulay. Yeah, his whole family. Kieran Culkin's is very talented. How did we end up talking about the Culkins? What the fuck?
Kieran Culkin is a creepy looking motherfucker.
Yeah, but he's a
too.
good actor though too. He is.
Yeah.
He is creepy looking. He's a great actor. The other thing I thought was funny on Spider-Man: No Way Home, it says only in the movie theaters this Christmas. They're starting to really emphasize the only in movie theaters for the movies coming out later this year. I thought that was interesting. Listener, join the conversation. We have a great Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. You can get in there, geek out with us. It is an exclusive closed group just for you. And it makes it like an interactive show. We're going to read some of your posts later on. I got to welcome some new members. Jeff Chapman, Lauren Souza Foez, Clay Jack, John Ruffin, and Cole Music. Jock and Nerd. Welcome to the group. I believe some of those are friends of Lenny Romero. Lensations himself.
The Lensations.
They're giving me the Lensations. And also, we'll be continuing one more time, spoiler threads for every episode of WandaVision. There's one more. Geek Boner. So get in that group. Okay, moving on. This story, you guys, announced today. Kind of no surprise, but interesting to see what they're doing. San Diego Comic-Con has announced they are canceling the in-person convention again.
Oh, shit.
For the second year. It will go virtual, and it will take place between July 23rd to 25th. Yeah, I guess it's still not. When is this coming back? Anthony, what do you think? When is it time for conventions like this? A convention that pulls what? Over 100,000 people a day?
I mean, if you're asking my prediction on when we will have conventions, maybe I could see July or August.
Oh, okay.
I think, California is one of the more strict states, but we'll see. Maybe August, September, somewhere around there. Fall.
Nate, did you go to conventions a lot? Do you miss them?
Oh, huge! I'm a big Comic-Con. I proposed to my spouse on stage at a Comic-Con. Actually,
What?
So
hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
let's hear the story. Everything stopped.
So
Tell me the story.
It was a nerdy burlesque show. So it was like the Saturday
shit.
night at Phoenix Comic-Con. And so it was like characters dressed up as superheroes and then stripping, which was
That's
obviously
excellent.
our thing.
Yes.
And so at the halftime, I contacted the show people. They were awesome. And at the intermission, they basically called me up and said they had found someone's wallet at the bar. And that's totally something I would do. Like, that's very believable. So, of course, my husband, he just kind of looked at me and was like, of course you did that. And I went up on stage. So they're like, if you want your wallet back, you're going to have to dance. So I danced for like 30 seconds. It's really embarrassing, super gross. They stopped that immediately, probably faster than they planned to. And then they basically said, like, we're not impressed. You need to do, if you want your wallet back, you need to do something more impressive. And I said, how about I call my fiance up here and propose. and everybody
snap.
like lost their mind. It was a good time. It was really. I've not done many things right in my life, but being on the show and proposing my proposal was pretty good.
You're at least 2 things, which is more than most.
That's more
than Imran.
More than me, definitely.
Yeah, you got me beat.
Oh my
Sure.
god, that's amazing. So
Yeah, so-
I mean, do you go to the dungeons, the role playing conventions? What are those called? What's that one?
No, I've not been. They're just, I don't know, Renaissance fairs? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Or I know there's like the board game industry has huge conventions.
I've been to all type because I went to school for game design too. So I've been to gaming conventions, I've been to Renaissance fairs, and I've been to Comic-Cons. Which Comic-Con is really just whether you're a writer, you're into film, whether you're into reading. It's for everything.
Game design.
So,
what is that?
Yeah.
What do you mean by game design?
It's a great way to get a degree and then have no practical experience for the real world. But that's really every degree,
what did you learn?
So, like game theory, level design, like kind of gamification and how you can like teach people, through games. Like the tutorial of every game is more effective than any job training you've probably ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm in the National Guard, and like all of our training on our equipment were simulations, and that's a game, a simulation at the end of the day. It's a game.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just interactive content, not so specific to like what you would just think of as a game, but interactive content, we can learn a lot, even just through Netflix or Disney Plus.
What school teaches that?
Oh, a lot of like USC is a big one. I didn't go there, but I went to a school in Worcester, Massachusetts. But there are dozens now. Colleges and universities, they'll teach whatever program will get students in, even if they can't match you with jobs or give you any practical experience. But it's just more and more popular over the last decade.
Yeah,
I graduated in like 2014, so it was a thing all the way back in 2010.
Man.
Esports degrees are huge now. As like an esports manager, that's a big one.
Esports manager.
Yeah.
Would you go Holy Cross?
Close, but no, that's a way better school. I went to Becker College.
Okay. That was the only school I could think of in Worcester, Holy Cross.
There's like 15 in Worcester in one city. It's crazy.
There's like 1,000 in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, that's probably super accurate.
I mean, Boston alone has so many.
You gotta say Worcester, Mass.
Yeah.
But Anthony, this is a big industry. I recently, Nate, I don't know if you've seen this. There's a documentary on Amazon I think it's called Game Masters. It followed 4 tabletop board game designers through the creation of the game and funding it and getting it made. And one part that was interesting when you're talking about the instructions is how it's a science to write the instructions to a game so that they're clear, so that your grandmother can sit down and read this and know how to play the game. It's got to be, that straightforward. And then the other thing was interesting. There was a Pakistani girl in there, you guys, who she didn't want to have an arranged marriage. So she got a visa. She moved to New York to be a game designer. She makes a board game called Arranged, about arranged marriages and how they like trap you, and eventually moves here and becomes like a big game designer. It was a fascinating documentary.
That's amazing. Imagine being that guy that you were so bad that the woman moved to another country and then designed a game about how awful you were and became famous. That's gotta suck.
Yeah, they were gonna force me to marry you. Now I'm making a game about it, you bastard. Interesting stuff. The other convention canceled. I got another email last month from our buddy Jerry Milani, who is the PR guy at Wizard World. We have been credentialed for a couple times at Wizard World. But Wizard World 2021 for Cleveland, St. Louis, and Chicago canceled. Actually, just postponed. They're pushing it back from June to August. Anthony, like you said, it may be a little bit better. August 27, 29, Donnelly Stevens Convention Center. If it goes on, maybe we'll try to get press credentials. Do you guys remember? It was a year ago. We had a partnership with E3. Remember this?
That's right.
E3 was going to happen. We were running ads on our show. We had press credentials. There was going to be logos and signage in Los Angeles with Jock and Nerd logo at the show. Jim McPike was going to go. I gave him the credentials. I was like, if you could buy a ticket and go record some audio. And then all that shit just got shut down as in a year ago.
Well, the whole world got shut down.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I was just thinking
it's
about
been a year almost now.
I was like, we were going to be
Me and you were at C2E2
in February
trying to get ourselves infected.
Yeah. Yes. While it was still a thing, we were out at C2E2. No mask. Nobody knew anything.
No one cared. You had all the sweat.
Yeah.
Everyone breathing on your neck. It's fun.
Okay, so what's funny? I get into a YouTube hole of watching like Pearl Jam live performance videos, and just looking at the sea of people pressed up against each other. And then I take a gut check and I'm like, you know what? No, I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. What is that?
That's a good call.
Is anybody ready to do that? Is it weird watching these videos now?
I'm ready.
Are you? Oh shit,
yeah.
Anthony's.
He wants to go to EDM concerts.
Yeah, let's get to Vegas.
Everything.
Fuck,
Yeah.
open it up.
Open it.
What is that? An Electric Daisy Carnival? Is that what you call it?
Yes. Wow, you remembered.
Yeah.
The eternal dairy conundrum. But have you?
As long as I get the vaccine,
Well, see, that's the thing. If this vaccine's coming out, but I just watching these videos, I'm like, this is weird that we used to do this, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna feel comfortable.
We used to do a lot of shit.
Yeah,
that we don't do anymore.
We. This is the weird thing is what we're doing now, not what we've been doing for 2,000 years or however long.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I guess
this is basically a group phone call. So let me patch you in.
Plug it in. All right. Well, so there's no, with San Diego, my other question is what, now that DC did like DC fandom and Marvel does its own thing, like, is there going to be anything to show in the virtual anyways? Is anybody going to care?
I mean, look, the good thing about this is that we see kind of like the end in sight. Not that there's like a definitive end, but the end to like...
There's a light there somewhere.
Because there is something being done. There's like something that's concrete happening. And you know that, okay, now let's start fucking... They're going to have to start getting the machine going again. Let's start promoting stuff. Let's start getting people excited again. Let's start trying to get, consumers back into buying and going out and doing things. So... all that, the engine's going to be turning on soon, and we're all going to kind of snap right back into place, like riding a bicycle. So it's going to be interesting.
I believe Fauci's kind of like an elder god, and I trust everything he tells me. And he's been saying recently a lot that fall is looking like the true beginning of recovery will be.
Okay,
so that's kind of the optimism I'm gonna hold on to. Trust in Fauci.
Yeah, he always plays it super safe. So. If he says fall, it's probably late summer. But that sounds reasonable.
Fauci could hold an infinity stone and not explode. I buy that. So
you think so?
He's got some power there. I don't know.
Could be like the patience stone.
The patience
dealing
stone,
with horrible administrations.
Yes, you made it through that horse shit. So
Fauci's like Uatu the Watcher.
He is a little bit like the Watcher. He's watching everything, and he's like, I don't know.
I can see it.
You should have made a different decision. Should wait. I see the future. It doesn't look good yet. Well, so if we had conventions, we would be getting stuff from Marvel, like nice, trailers and pictures for upcoming movies, say for like the Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao. Instead, what we have to talk about is a piece of promo art from a calendar that leaked. And I put this in here because I got to trash the fucking Photoshop skills. Holy shit.
Agreed.
It is deplorable.
Fuck that show.
Really bad.
Sometimes Marvel's, I don't know what tier marketing department this has come out from, but...
Looks like a kid did this.
It's bad.
Yeah, this looks like some fan art right now.
It does. It looks like fan art, and you get to see, you got your Kumail Nanjiani and the guy from Game of Thrones and everybody else, but the heads are just, they're not in the right
Well, this is
perspective.
what happens. The photo is all... So this is what happens. All these photos don't match each other.
Right.
So they have to try and Photoshop some kind of an effect to make them all kind of seem that like they fit with the artwork that they're also being superimposed of. So so the heads don't match each other, and then they don't match the
They don't match
bodies.
the art style. Yes, it's it's clearly like painting on top, and then just paste their photographic face on this painting.
Oh, it's so bad. It's unbelievably bad.
Anthony, aside from that, what do you think of the look of these outfits?
I can't tell because it looks so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a very good Marvel.
Why do they do this?
They seem to always have their ducks in a row on most things, but their posters are always terrible.
Questionable sometimes. Yes.
That being said, I mean the costumes. We'll see. It is just a terrible representation of what they're going to look like. It makes the costumes look terrible.
Yes.
That being said, side note, same thing on this movie. I was watching John Campea, and apparently the people inside of Marvel take this for a grain of salt.
I saw this, yeah.
But they were saying that this is like the best thing they've ever, like Chloe Zhao basically killed it, and they were not expecting it to be this good.
And you don't normally hear that from Marvel Studios. You hear that kind of shit from like Warner Brothers because they got to hype up their shit fucking movies.
I mean, you're not going to hear them ever say that they did badly.
No, but rarely you hear like Marvel is stroking its own ego over this movie kind of stuff.
Because they don't have to.
No, exactly. So I think that's a really good sign.
I think it's possible in that Chloe Zhao is like really hot right now.
Yeah.
You know, she just won the Globe. She might win best pick director for the Oscars. So maybe they do have something there. This is terrible, though. This is a terrible piece of art.
I mean, like the story has to be so good, and has to be so poignant. Like this is the only thing that I can think of. Because I feel like the Eternals, in and of themselves, are boring ass fucking characters. That's why they've never caught on.
Right.
All right. They're nobody gives a shit about them.
They'd be a thing.
So my gut feeling is the reason why it's getting praised is maybe Chloe Zhao really imbued it with some kind of real heartfelt thing that where it's compelling. Like, you know, maybe there's some kind of real emotion to it or something that will grab people and they'll want to love it. So like that's the only I can think of. Like I don't think it's the actual IP.
Right.
I think it might be something that she infused into this that will give it some oomph. So I'm hoping that's the case because I don't know. I mean, like as I said, the Eternals. We even tried to get excited about it, and we couldn't.
No, I don't know.
Remember when it first was announced? We tried to like research and get it pumped up about it, and we're like, yeah, this is kind of lame. So, like we all think that like the DC version is better, like the New Gods, like like Dark Side and all that shit. So, anyhow,
Nate, what are your thoughts about the Eternals? Are you looking forward to this? Are you confused by this? Do you wonder what it is? Like many people, I think.
Rogue Boy hit on the head. Like I've just never really wanted to care about the Eternals. Like I'm a serial like comic book wiki guy. I'll click on one article, click to the next, and I've encountered the Eternals many times, and usually a couple paragraphs in, I'm like, man, and I move on to something else. And so I'm really excited about this casting, and then that little tidbit about maybe they actually created something unique and special about this. And this would be great if the diversity is like amazing.
The diversity is amazing.
So
the cast
if it's
is great.
authentic. Yeah. If it's like an authentic, like great representation, I'm all about this. I mean, I love a lot of these individual actors and actresses. I don't remember all their names. But in green, the female on the left, I love her from Crazy Rich Asians, obviously.
Oh, right. Yeah. Salma Hayek.
Gemma Chan.
Yeah. I mean, just all of these
Chan.
people.
That's
I love
Chan.
Gemma Chan, right. And Salma Hayek. Gemma Chan. Rob Stark. What the fuck is his name? I can't remember in center. And of course, Kumail Nanjiani, Pakistani brown guy like me. Love that he's in there. He's all jacked.
I love him so much.
You name dropped him 17 times.
Kumail. It's all about
I wish they had a puppet among them.
There should be. They need some puppet representation. But
it's all right.
I think they have a real deaf person in the cast.
That's the little green girl on the left, I believe, is who that character is. But yeah, this Photoshop is just horrible. I really do think they're going to ride this Chloe Zhao kind of fever and popularity that she's going to have, and she's going to get more. But I believe she can deliver something beautiful on screen. So maybe this is something completely different and refreshing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued, as Nate mentioned. I'm intrigued by the casting, and I'm more intrigued now with the director. Like all the pieces around it are good. We just don't care about the Eternals, so maybe they'll do a good job of making us care.
Meanwhile, over at Warner Brothers, a character that people do care and know about, Superman. We have trades confirming that Warner Brothers is developing a new Superman movie with J.J. Abrams as producer via his Bad Robot label, and Black Panther comic writer Ta-Nehisi Coates is penning the script. Also rumored, the way Ta-Nehisi Coates is talking about this, they're expecting this to be a Black Superman story, which is an idea that has been around Warner Brothers for a while. J.J. Abrams also had a Superman script for a long time called Superman Flyby, but the rumor also talks about Michael B. Jordan being interested. There is a alternate universe Black Superman in DC Comics, but first, let's just back up. J.J. Abrams loves Superman. He's dying to do Superman. They're going to give this to him, and I would have been Geek Boner.
Geek Boner.
Except for after this fucking Star Wars
Floppy Jock
trilogy there. I don't know if I want him near any more huge IP. What do you guys think? Can he do it?
No.
Okay. Nice and to the point.
I'm with you, Imran. I would have had more confidence in JJ before Star Wars. Now he's only, I think he's the producer though, so I guess he doesn't.
He is just the producer. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see who they hire as a director. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you.
Would you, Nate? What do you think about the J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, I'm on with the consensus. I think the Star Wars was a huge breach of trust, and I don't want him touching anything I care about anymore. So I don't know. I mean, is he probably a no for me? But
nobody's really that excited. He's gonna fan service Superman. Okay, well, what about Ta-Nehisi Coates is a great writer. I've read some of his Black Panther. That part is exciting, and there is in DC canon on Earth 23. The Superman of Earth 23 is Calvin Ellis. It is a black Superman, so you could introduce him. I know a lot of people would want Henry Cavill to come back for a Man of a Steel sequel. I don't know if that sequel's ever going to get made, or is this the sequel? What do you guys think? What do you want? Do you want a Cavill sequel or something fresh?
I mean, I would like to see Cavill get like a decent Superman film because he embodies the role so well. Give him a shot, but I'm open to anything. I mean, like, as I said, there's a lot of Superman shit out there already, so I'm like, whatever. Like, at this point, I'm like, what are they going to... I mean, they've gone back to certain wells a little bit too much. It'd be nice to see something different, like Brainiac or something that we haven't seen before, but I don't know. It's like, at this point in time, we've oversaturated with Superman.
It sounds like DC's might do where they do the separate Elseworlds thing. Yeah. Potentially,
like Joker.
So this potentially could be an African American Superman, Michael B. Jordan.
That would be sick. I could see that in the suit. He'd look great.
And maybe they could do like that as a alternate Earth thing, and then still have Henry Cavill do his thing on the other side. So, they're planning to do Batman, like the 95 versions of Batman at the same time. So.
We have multiple versions of Superman on TV.
And at least. Well, and the only thing I'd say is at least this Superman, if they're doing from what it looks like, his name's Calvin Ellis, so it's a different character. Right. At least they're not doing like what they're doing on with Batman, where it's Bruce Wayne. It's also Bruce Wayne. It's also Bruce Wayne with like 5 different actors. Yeah. So this is a little more feasible in that they could do 2 Supermen. Yeah. And it's 2 different characters within the comics anyway.
Like Miles Morales and shit like that.
Yeah. Right. He could carve out his own thing. Nate, favorite on-screen Superman? Who do you got?
Oh, man. I'm just not a big Superman guy. Okay. I would look forward to this if, the writer, I'm not going to say their name, but if he can, like, salvage this and prevent, J.J. Abrams from ruining it, I'd be all for it. And then Henry Cavill, he's had his time. Keep making Witcher movie shows because I'm digging that a lot. Yeah. And there's plenty that he can do. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be Superman. That's just where I'm at.
He was pretty good in the Mission Impossible movie, throwing people through walls and stuff. Who's your favorite?
With his mustache that they had to digitally handle.
With his floaty mustache.
Just keep the mustache.
How about you put a beard on to match instead of making his upper lip floaty? Nate, who's your superhero? Who's your thing? Who's your guy?
Gosh. There's so many. That's just such a tough question, but it's Marvel. Okay. They're Marvel superheroes.
Marvel. Okay, good.
I grew up with DC. Like Batman the Animated Series was like a big part of where it was, but as soon as I got older and started watching more of like the live action stuff, it quickly kind of changed to Marvel. I like the humorous kind of. I like Spider-Man, right? Because he's human, he's a kid, he does dumb things. I like the more relatable heroes, and Superman is just so far from like. He's almost too perfect, and I just struggle with it. He does have his flaws, but they're just not relatable flaws. So it's just not. It's not for me.
That is the issue of a lot of the DC kind of characters, isn't it? Is like there are one's a god, one's an alien, one's a billionaire. I can't relate with any of these, which is why I love Spider-Man. Also, everybody knows, very relatable.
Really.
I don't know. Maybe Nate didn't know.
That Spider-Man talk. What?
Just in case Nate didn't know, I was gonna just.
I didn't know. No.
Yeah. Okay. See, there you go. I'm educating. Nate, what are you? How many streaming services you subscribe to these days?
Oh man, so back in the day, right? I was the guy who got all of them and then shared them, and then one day I was like, "This is garbage. Like, why am I paying for every single service?" So now I've got like 2 or 3. So it's like Netflix, Hulu. I kind of went down to Amazon Prime. I grabbed the essentials. Okay, and then my mother has CBS All Access now, which I think will be a great tie-in for later for. Paramount Plus, and then another friend gives me HBO Max, and I think that's really all I probably need. That's more than I have enough time for to watch.
It's interesting. You said your essentials were Netflix, Amazon, Hulu.
Yeah, Amazon, because I just want Prime, not even for the streaming service, but they have some good stuff every so often. It's weird. If you can get through their awful interface where they just try to ram their stuff down
it's
your,
so bad.
your face.
It's terrible.
It's horrendous.
Yeah,
but if you get past that, I love The Boys. Oh my goodness. There's some gems on there that are worth having the service for, but it's hard.
I got to make a point. Amazon really needs. They should do something about that.
Redesign, you fuckers. What are you waiting for?
You don't know what you have to pay for and what you don't. There's too many things,
and it's intentional, but it's awful. That's just a bad strategy of trying to trick you into buying.
They do
stuff.
because you're like, I want to watch this. But wait, I got to pay for Epics for $8.99 a week. What the fuck is this? I thought I could just watch this.
The fact that the first few carousels are never like your stuff. It's always stuff you don't have access to or you've not purchased, and I'm just like, what? Like, why on earth would I want that?
And then you're like, so then what do I get with this?
Yeah, sure.
Like most people have Prime because of the free shipping, so I guess it's just an add-on.
I liked what Netflix did with their stuff, where they said, okay, this is what's trending. These are this is popular in this category, and then they say, well, these are the new movies. This is the new shit that came out. This is the shit that's only exclusive to Netflix. So like exactly what you're looking for when you're drilling down. And Amazon, it's just anything goes. Like I never know what's going to come up. It's like dog movies you might like. I'm like, I didn't even watch a movie with a dog in it. Like, how do you know this?
That's a good point. So I watched that roundtable with all the directors or all the execs from all the major studios, and they had the Netflix guy. And this was in 2019, and they basically hinted at that point that this was going to happen on Netflix, that people were really interested in like top 10s, like what's doing well, what's trending.
Oh, wow.
And obviously they've added that now where, what's popular for this week, blah, blah, blah. So I think it helps because people innately want to know what's doing really well. And if they see things that are doing well on Netflix, there's like kind of like, oh, okay, like a lot of people like
it attracts you to it. Yeah, I love that when they started the top 10 on Netflix, I always kind of just check in and see what's trending at what number.
And a lot of people like to be a part of the conversation, so that helps you get in on that.
It kind of gives you an idea of what people are watching, and you feel like, oh, that's an entertaining thing just to look up, period. Not even if you're going to watch anything. It's just to know that.
Well, we got details on another old news service that is rebranding. We talked about Paramount Plus. We got some launch details. Let's see if it's a thing I got to pay for now. This will launch this Thursday, March 4th in the U.S. and Latin America for $10 a month for ad-free subscription. Later in June, they are going to launch a $5 a month subscription with ads, but Paramount Plus will feature, here's something that sets this apart, because it's CBS Viacom, it will feature live news and sports.
Oh, shit.
Which is something I don't think any other, maybe like a Hulu.
Sports?
From CBS.
Oh.
As well as on-demand shows and movies, and all from their...
I think it's a 24/7 news network that they'll have.
Whoa.
Somewhat like how like the Cock has
those channels.
Those channels. I think Paramount Plus is doing something similar.
I love the Cock's Saturday Night Live channel on Peacock. Yeah. But you're going to have stuff from Viacom CBS brands like CBS, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and Paramount Network. 30,000 episodes of TV shows, 2,500 movies, plus 36 original series debuts just this year, like a revival of Frasier with Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, shit.
Anybody excited for this? I used to love Frasier. That's a great show. The fucking character lasted from Cheers for like almost 20 years through Frasier. Unbelievable longevity of Frasier.
I don't know. Do I really want to watch really geriatrically old Frasier? Do I want to see?
He's got to be very old. Nate, you into the Frasier?
Man, it was on when I was younger, and it was on that television. I mean, I think a lot of people watched it for that whole Daphne and
Niles.
his brothers,
Niles
drama, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, is that gonna be a thing at all? I don't know, but I'm kind of with Rug Boy. It's just how old? Like he's probably the age of his father was in that show. So
and I believe
how's that gonna go?
He's passed away, right? That actor, I think.
Possibly, yeah. It would
but
have to be.
And he was on. This is what I guess. It's going to be a podcast, not a radio show, right? They're going to do because he had a psychology radio show. It's going to be like some podcast or maybe like a live stream Facebook thing. I don't know. They're also doing a CG animation update of Rugrats for the millennials. Any excitement there? Anybody? Rugrats? No.
I was a Rugrats guy.
It's got the word rug in it.
It does have the word rug in it.
It's not that kind of show, boy.
No, it's not as fun.
But I have no. I mean, I barely remember the characters in Rugrats.
It's funny that they're doing that. And then they got a new studio dedicated to Avatar: The Last Airbender concept rugs, with founded by the original cartoon's creators to make new programming, included a new Avatar movie.
That should be pretty cool. Check that out. Yeah.
They will also stream some big screen movies from Paramount Pictures 45 days after they hit the theaters, like A Quiet Place 2 and Mission Impossible 7. That kind of got my attention. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, normally it's the 90-day.
Half that.
And now they halved it. So we'll see. I mean,
exciting.
they haven't fully given up on theaters either. They're kind of like, they haven't done the HBO Max thing. Right. But they're not doing the Disney thing.
No, they're like in the middle.
I think this might be. I think 45 days might be a happy medium.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad number
because they're going to make all
Yeah.
their money at the theater, and then when it's waning, they got people watching it on Paramount, and continuing the conversation.
Yep.
And if you have the CBS All Access app, apparently on Thursday it's automatically going to update, and your subscription transfers over, and everything. You don't got to just kind of like the HBO Max thing. And I got a link here of more things if you want to check out.
Well, it's got all the freaking Star Trek shit.
Yeah,
it's got a
that's
bunch,
where
a bunch of stuff. It's got the MTV stuff. So if you like reality shows about 16-year-old
they're
moms,
Well, they're bringing back Behind the Music.
Oh, there's Behind the Music. They're doing a real world reunion with the cast from the first year. Now, that show became scripted trash, but that first season of Real World, nobody had done that shit. It was fucking amazing. It was such a wild thing to watch. I was like, oh my God, they're just fucking filming them all the time. This is crazy.
I used to love The Real World.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's one of
I
my
was big
favorite
into
shows.
that too, up until like the mid 2000s, and I lost interest.
I think I'm in the same boat.
I checked out. I was in for like the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Once they started doing those competitions with the Real World versus the Road Rules,
Yeah, that's dumb.
then I was like, all right, I can't watch these people. They're
See,
just
that
lame.
I actually was into for a while too, and then they started injecting in other shows, and then I was like, I don't follow these other shows, so I'm out.
I don't
You
know.
remember Puck?
Of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Heather B.
He's spitting people's face.
Yeah.
What an asshole. I love Heather B. She's still around doing stuff.
Heather
from
B.
the
I don't
first
remember
one.
Heather B.
Nate, what are some? You got any reality show guilty pleasures that you?
I love me. I mean, like Flavor of Love back in the
Oh,
day,
that's a
like that
fucking
was
good one.
my
Yes.
yeah. Real World is a treasure just because it's trash, but like even like I'm pretty sure The Office and stuff like it I don't know which came first. Do you guys know? But like I feel like it took a page from The Real World.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that whole like the interviews.
Yeah,
of course.
Real World was way
The Real
before.
World, yeah, was way ahead of its time in terms of
absolutely.
One of my favorite shows of all time. I haven't watched it since it came out, but I just remember it was like I had shut everything down and watched this. It was Robin Big. It was my favorite show on MTV.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that show. I know it was fake, but I fucking loved it. But so like MTV, every once in a while they have a nice gem to give you.
I do have a comment on Paramount Plus. I mean, they have a lot of good stuff for sure. I feel like they're jumping in at a very crowded time right now, so it'll be interesting to see. Like their main competition, the most similar is Peacock. Except Paramount's had CBS, like CBS All Access. I saw this on John Campia's show, and I agree. It was just a bad title. It wasn't ready. Yeah. Like the most of the people that watch CBS, like they're known for their sitcoms, but they're like the 50+
Well,
crowd.
CBS is always the old person's network. Traditionally, I always think of them as the old person's network.
I'm sure there's smart, intuitive old people, but a lot of those people probably aren't going to streaming.
Yeah. They're still flipping channels, for the most
right.
part.
And then anyone that's younger is like, CBS. Why do I need all access to CBS? I have CBS for free, and all that's on there are things like there's nothing that's going to appeal to me. Why would I get the all access? So I think Paramount Plus is a much better title. I think they might be a little late to the game, though, so we'll see.
CBS,
I got a thought on this, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So a bunch of episodes ago, Anthony was basically saying, like, when you launch these things, you need to have, like, a big original piece of content, right? And so this Avatar stuff, if it had launched, if it had turned to Paramount Plus launching with the new Avatar content, would have been huge.
Oh, wow.
Huge. But the fact that it's coming down the line, I don't know if we'll be subscribers by then, you know?
Wow, he listened to
He actually listened to what Anthony said. Well, nobody listens to what I say, but everyone listens
I'm like that Native American gif for one tier. So
don't
as I'm
look
stoic.
back. It's just garbage. Trust me. You don't want to see it. No, so what makes this? Look, I just saw they're bringing back Yo MTV Raps and Unplugged. They have all this MTV IP, and what you said about CBS All Access and Peacock, Anthony, it's ironic because the show Yellowstone, which airs on the Paramount Network, will not be on Paramount Plus because they licensed it to fucking Peacock. So they can't put a Paramount show that's on the Paramount channel on
there's
Paramount
still a lot
Plus.
of like weird crossover on different streams, or like they own the rights to, like Universal owns the rights to this. Blah, blah, blah. So like, yeah.
But this is the last chunk of IP in terms of, if you look at the umbrellas of like Viacom and Warner Brothers and Disney, this is kind of the last big chunk to kind of be put together.
Sony doesn't done anything.
Sony is the last holdout. Yes.
They have Crackle, but that sucks.
No, and Sony putting on their Spider-Man posters only in theaters. Clearly, they're like, no, we're not fucking putting these things on streaming.
No, but you're right. This is the last of like the pillar. Network
IP content.
Media conglomerates. But they've always had. They were just they never.
It's been around for years, and it did not hit. It didn't click.
But then Viacom and CBS, CBS, they like merged, and then they didn't merge. So like they weren't. It wasn't always under one umbrella like it is now. So I mean, these are all strong brands. We'll see though. I feel like they have a tough road ahead.
Tough road, good catalog, good IP. Listener, you know what else is a big corporate conglomerate? That's the show, and you can buy our T-shirt with our logo and say, "I support big podcasts." That makes no sense.
We have a boardroom that makes all the decisions.
Yes,
nothing that we say is actually original.
Every single word has been scripted by committee.
Oh shit!
There's an algorithm.
And we're always polling like different groups and seeing what's popular. Like, should Imran be as happy as he is? Yes.
Focus group said I should say the instead of the. People like it better. So that's what I'm going to do. Focus groups also say visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop to buy a T-shirt or a mask with our logo, our new logo, our old logo. You could be hipster. You could be early adopter. You could do whatever you want. They're both there. The whole history, the before and after. It's epic. Check it out. Go shopping now. Last thing in the news, Zack Snyder's Justice League 4-hour epic will be coming out soon. Nate, you excited for that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard you're supposed to like watch it in parts though. Like there's actually going to be some like weird thing in like the navigation at the bottom that divides it.
Oh.
Yeah. So they kind of said like don't watch it all in one take or kind of watch it with like these different thematic points involved. But I'm just excited. To me, this is a weird experiment. Like, how often does a movie get just remade?
Never.
And so I just want to know, like, can you remake a movie and make me like it the second time if I didn't the first time? We're going to find out.
There it is.
So yeah, I'm going to watch it.
It's a very interesting experiment.
It's very unprecedented, and it's kind of like if it does well, is it a slippery slope for other people? That's not the only movie though he's got coming out in May. His Army of the Dead on Netflix comes out. Now he did. Was it Dawn of the Dead remake? Was one of his early movies?
Yeah,
and
the opening of that film is great.
It was not a bad movie, actually. It's a really good zombie movie. They put out the first official teaser for Army of the Dead. Ruggs, let's start with you. What did you think of the teaser? And Drax is in it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah?
Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really like zombie movies that much.
Really?
So, no, I'm not. I mean, I told you, I'm
he doesn't
sick
like
of
comedies or zombie movies.
Because I get sick of them. I've been like, I'm old. I've watched a lot of shit. And I just see formula and I get bored. So that's all it is. But yeah, I don't really like zombie movies. But I mean, it looks like it's got a lot of action in it, so that might be cool. It's like almost like one of those Resident Evil movies where there's just bodies getting mowed down. Well, yeah, it just looks like it's got more action than a typical zombie movie, so that draws my attention.
There's color and shit in this. It surprised me for a Zack Snyder movie. Nate, what are your thoughts on the zombie movies, and how did this look to you?
Pretty confused. Is it a zombie movie? Is it a heist movie?
Good question.
Apparently it's both. And so they said, why not both? I'll go see it. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. So why not?
That's
Yeah, I'll
Zack
check it out.
Snyder's motto, I believe.
Yeah.
It's worth doing. Make it in slow motion and overdo it. Anthony, I'm in on this. What do you think? If this is like a Ocean's 11 meets The Walking Dead, fucking dope. Yeah, I'm in. Looks good.
Geek boner.
Yeah, I mean, it looks all right. I like Batista.
Yeah.
I like him in the role of being a meathead that shoots down zombies. This might be more Zack Snyder's lane, although I feel like zombies, like we've hit apex zombie.
Oh, we're past peak zombie.
media.
Oh, yeah. Zombies are so fucking done.
So I feel like he's like late to the game on this, but I won't completely hate on Zack Snyder for this one. Whatever. Go for it,
yeah,
I
why
guess.
not have fun? He had help on the screenplay with Shay Hatton, so he's not writing it himself. So that's always means there might be some saving grace. And yeah, you got Dave Bautista's in this. Theo Rossi is in this. Remember Theo Rossi from
Where's he from?
Luke Cage? He was the right hand man to what's her name?
The guy that was
he was in love with her.
banging,
Yeah.
the girl.
Yes, he was in love with. I forgot her name. But I like the Theo Rossi.
Not Viola Davis.
The not
What's her name?
Viola Davis. Yes, who was that? Shit, I can't remember.
She's actually a good
She
actress.
is, and she reminds me of Viola Davis. I feel bad because people just remember Viola Davis.
Oh, fuck. Alfred Woodard.
Alfred Woodard.
You
Son
guys
of
are
a
hilarious.
bitch. I hate when we can't get a name. It bugs the shit out of me. I can't sleep
You
at night.
should get it. You're older.
What? No, but that
You
means
know
but that
names.
means I also forget more things because I'm old.
That's true.
Anyways,
But I'm young and
you
dumb.
are young, dumb, and we'll move on from there. Army of the Dead, May 21st, Netflix. Check it out. Let's take a quick break here, play some promos. We're going to come back and geek out about the penultimate episode of WandaVision right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio.
Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee.
Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
And Nerd.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show for any amount of time, consider joining our awesome
Never.
fan club. Never? Not even once? If you
I don't even enjoy the show. How do you like
Fuck
it?
that show.
if you keep saying fuck that show, listener, join our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
It's like Jock and Nerd Plus, Plus Max. It is a place where you can support the show.
Cinemax.
It's Skinamax. It's Jock and Nerd Plus Skinamax.
Janamax.
But for as little as $3 a month, you will be supporting the show, ensuring we keep making shows every week, and you get bonus content. Everyone gets access to an RSS feed with exclusive audio. The shows come out early. I got to say a huge thank you to 2 new patrons.
Oh, shit.
This week, first of all, thank you to new $5 patron Johnny Gons.
Jock and Nerd.
For signing up this week.
I like
And
that last name.
he's been in the Facebook group. He posts a lot. He's a lot of feedback, very interactive, great listener. Johnny Gons. Thank
he
you very
sounds
much.
Super cool. Really.
It's like the Fawn. Like, does he have a
Right,
leather
right.
jacket? And he rides a bike.
Exactly.
Johnny Fonz.
Yeah.
He snaps his finger and the jukebox starts on a T.I. song or something, or a little Uzi Vert, because it's now.
How old is he? Johnny, how old are you?
Let us know. I don't think you can hear him if he answers.
37. I heard it.
Oh, okay. Yes. And then thank you to the newest patron we have, Nate Casimiro. You just signed up for the Patreon. Holy shit.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
You convinced
Amazing the
this man.
technology these days.
Yeah.
I can literally be on your show and sign up for Patreon at the same time.
We
We
brainwashed
fleeced
him.
this man
How did
within
that happen?
an hour and a half. Unbelievable.
I was sending like WandaVision magic waves over to brainwash
Maybe if
him.
we get everyone on our show, like we can get them all on Patreon.
We'll have $5 more.
You can join the show, and you can join the show.
But really, look, you guys, we never get to say thank you to someone in person. Fucking thank you, Nate, so much. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Right?
Thanks, man.
Yeah. If you're listening to the show, these guys are Imran, Anthony. You guys are just as cool, like off mic, as they are on the mic. So
wow,
it's all lies.
No mention of me.
Yes,
not funny. Damn it.
It's just a given. Rug Boy is the coolest and the smartest out of all of us.
It's implied.
Yeah.
But Nate, you will be enjoying tons of bonus content if you sign up right now. You just got access to over 500 bonus posts of audio, and this week we put out a lot of stuff going up there. It's fantastic. I've been doing WandaVision instant reactions. My episode 8 is up there, and you'll hear the finale the day or the day after it happens, so sign up for that. And then Anthony, a lot of good stuff from you. What do you got?
Minari. I did an instant reaction to Minari with Steven Yeun. Did an instant reaction to the United States versus Billie Holiday, which was released on Hulu this past weekend with Andra Day. And then, unexpectedly, I felt compelled to do a Golden Globes instant reaction because I freaking sat there and watched the entire thing.
I can't believe.
Yeah.
You, just a year ago, were like, I can't believe you fucking watch all these award shows. To me.
Yeah.
You used to have a life.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. COVID changed me.
It was out rubbing up against people.
Yeah.
Well, you're a different person. We'll get into the Golden Globes later. That's fascinating. All that stuff, listener, do what Nate did. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today. Jock and Nerd.
Just on the Golden Globes real quick. I was literally messaging Gerald Morris.
Oh, shit.
And like, did you see that?
You guys were nerding out.
At one point, they announced a winner, and I yelled at the TV, "No way!" And then I was like, "Who am I? What is going on
I can't
here?"
believe Anthony, the Globes of all things.
Yeah, the Globes.
Okay, we're going to get into that. It's fucking crazy. But right now, I'm too excited because we are at WandaVision episode 8. The penultimate episode of season 1 on WandaVision. Here are your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This one, another great title, Previously On. We've all heard, and this one literally Previously On, as Agatha takes Wanda through a walk through her past, through her memories, to help her remember, to help her find her truth. We got answers, big MCU name drops from the comics and appearances, and a super emotional fucking episode. Nate, what is your thoughts on this show overall? Have you been watching this since the beginning, or did I make you watch all of this all at once?
Yeah, a little bit of both / the latter.
Yes.
So I didn't watch it in the stereotypical. I didn't go week to week. I watched the first 3 episodes, then stopped, then watched the last 5.
Oh, wow.
Which brings us up to today's, which I think was a perfect break because it's not till the end of episode 3 that it kind of teases and breaks that fourth wall and goes to the outside world. I dug it. I related to you guys about what some of you, I think it was Rug Boy who said that it was enjoyed discussing it more the first 3 episodes than watching it. It kind of reminded me of Westworld a little bit. About you were kind of just like wondering where it's going, what's happening. But then after episode 4, it really takes off, and it's been an awesome ride. And this last episode, what a doozy.
Fuck, what did you so let's just start there, Nate. What did you think overall? What stuck out? Pick a moment.
Goodness. Well, I think I really love the whole Ebenezer Scrooge, like, let's go back and experience all of your trauma at once.
Oh, that's a
deal.
great reference.
Very Christmas Carol. I like
exactly.
that. Oh, shit.
I think it's really important to look through this stuff because, who is it? Vision that says in I think the previous episode that like in a matter of 2 weeks she watched him die twice.
Yeah.
She's been through an abnormal amount of trauma, especially like not just recently, but through her entire life.
Yeah.
Imagine staring at a bomb for 2 days.
Yeah.
So when you think about like how crazy is it that she's creating this pocket universe, well, probably not that crazy when you weigh out everything else she's been through. And so I think it was good to put things in perspective of like really what pushed her to this point that she's in now in this.
And it's cumulative, and it's all of it. And she's been through some trauma. I gotta say, given the way they fleshed out these little bits of Wanda and Vision, like she has become a higher tier MCU character to me now. The fact that we spent so much time with her, you know her as well as like a Tony Stark or a Steve Rogers. Like, what a fucking amazing character this Wanda Maximoff is. Thinking about all this, Anthony, what did you like about the flashbacks in the episode?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'm with you guys. I thought this was another really good episode. I've been in the bag for this. They still have me. I'm just overcome with joy and glee. I just sit around with millions of grapes and lotion and just have a great time.
Grapes and lotion?
Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's
big
crazy,
fanning
man.
with the big leaf?
I mean, I don't know. It's just the whole purple thing with Agatha.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. Anyways, what did I like about this episode? First off, you're right, Imran. This is exactly what these shows need to be, in that they're taking the underutilized characters and doing a great job of making you care. Like Wanda is now a much more intriguing character moving forward, coming out of this. Marvel does, in my opinion, better than anyone else at consistently making you care about characters. Like
Absolutely.
They have the Flash, not the Flash as in the character, but like flashy things. They have jokes. They have big action scenes. They have the fan service, the ties of canon, comic books, but it doesn't matter unless you give a shit about the characters. And I do it better than anybody, in my opinion, consistently. Sometimes they have bumps in the road, but for the most part, this universe, they make you give a fuck about everybody. As far as like my most favorite part, I think the flashback scene with Vision and Wanda was so good, and the speech he gives where he says, what is grief if not love, persevering, or something along those lines. Yeah. That whole speech, like I thought about that and I was like, that's exactly what Vision would say. But damn, like whoever wrote that
it's so
for
perfect.
Him is like that's a perfect line for that character. So such a good thing.
A synthetic being can break down humanity better than people.
And you like, it's always
sense.
Weird, right? Like it's like Wanda is a person. Vision's a synthezoid. Like it's kind of weird. You think about them screwing around, and then you think about them in real life. Like Paul Bettany's like probably 20 years older than Elizabeth Olsen, but when like on screen, it just seemed like these little things, these little moments, like that moment right there is like the beginning of their relationship, like their love. And I was like, you know what? I buy in. Whatever. He's comforting her. Like he's trying.
And you could see in her face that she's like, oh, this guy might actually get it. He might actually know the loneliness and the isolation. Like they connected. It's fucking unbelievable.
I'll save some other thought, but there's some big reveals that I want to get into later.
Ruggs, what'd you think of this episode? And what did you think about the fact that Agatha thinks Wanda may have cast a probability hex to stop the bomb from exploding, meaning she had witch power?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously they're trying to hint at mutants or some kind of like, you're born with the power.
So that's a mutant. Thing. She's a mutant then.
I would probably, it's a good chance of it happening. Now, I enjoyed this episode for all the same reasons you did, but I always, as Rug Boy, always gets hung up on stupid shit.
Okay, what was the stupid shit this time?
So there's a few things that, like, I'm thinking about is like, first of all, like these are nitpicky, stupid things, but first of all,
Rug Boy?
Yeah, last week's episode, it was like, it's all Agatha, right?
Right.
It's like Agatha the whole time.
All along.
It was Agatha all along. But then it's like, you watch this episode and she really has nothing to do with anything. She just comes in and then she reanimates some dude to pretend to be her brother.
Right.
And that's basically all she did. It wasn't her all. So, I mean, it was a completely it wasn't Agatha all along. Because, Vision, for some reason, has enough money to buy a house. And she went to the place and created a house.
Where did they pay him? Did the Avengers give him a paycheck?
Like, what do you get? They cut him a check? Like, I don't know.
That's the beauty of Vision. We don't have to pay him. He's not a human, so we're going to cut down.
Yeah, like how did he get money? Like, did Stark just give him here's some?
Okay, that's a good point because we find out that Wanda did create, and Agatha's kind of being like her therapist in this episode, trying to figure out how did you do this. So,
well, she's trying to figure out how there's a more powerful witch than her.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So she creates the hex, and Agatha's like, oh shit, something's really powerful. She senses it, I guess.
Yeah.
And she like appears, and she's like, oh, I gotta get on in this because she likes to suck people's energy. I guess she's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. She's like never seen shit like this before in her life, and she calls her out. She says, "You are chaos energy. Oh. You are the Scarlet Witch."
Oh my God! Two things.
But she doesn't say Nexus. That might be coming soon.
So chaos magic is in the comics what Wanda actually uses, and then
they define it in this just real quick as like creating things out of nothing,
spontaneous creation.
Yeah.
And she said you're supposed to be a myth, like you said, and she goes, "That makes you the Scarlet Witch," as in this is a title given to this witch coven.
She said the or a.
She said
it doesn't
the.
Really matter. Oh,
I think she said the.
I thought she said a Scarlet Witch, but whatever.
No, there's colored witches. This is some title in this coven. If you notice in the beginning when Agatha kills her mom, which is great, the witches want to kill her and she kills all of them. There's like a little
blue energy.
Yeah, there's blue energy. It turns purple, but then her mom has this crown that looks like Wanda, the Scarlet Witch's headdress.
Right.
So I don't know if that, that's where that's going to come from. But this is a moniker. This is clearly but I think it's brilliant to bring that in, the words "the Scarlet Witch" uttered this way. But these are huge things to reveal in this TV show for the MCU.
There's another big reveal too at the post credit.
Yes, want to talk about that now, or you want to talk about?
Well, we could. You want to wait till the end to talk about it?
I want to go back to Wanda's flashbacks because there were some.
All right, go for it. Okay,
there were some great things. Her connection to sitcoms, all of it heartbreaking, obviously. But I loved her connection to sitcoms. I love that we watched them watch actual sitcoms. The episodes they showed are all like they picked them specifically because they tie in thematically to the overall show. So there's so much thought put into this.
Did we like the retcon of her having the powers all along, potentially being a mutant? Although the comics recently have made that not a thing and said she's been a witch. So we'll still see. She could be a witch. She could have been a witch all along. Or she could be a mutant all along.
And it wasn't just from the Mind Stone.
Right.
The irony is Wanda Maximoff originally a mutant. They changed her, retconned her to be an Avenger and not the daughter of Magneto so that Marvel could use her in the movies because they didn't own the rights to the word mutant. And now that they do, they didn't need to do any of that horse shit. And they're kind of like reversing it to bring in mutants again. I don't know.
We'll see.
I have this sense that I don't think they're going to use Wanda in the House of M-Way to make mutants. I think that's going to happen after the Multiverse of Madness. I think this is just going to open the door for that. It's not going to actually be a result of this. I might be wrong, but I think there's an hour left in this show, maybe, if we're lucky.
I don't see how they're wrapping this up.
And they have so many things to wrap up. Now, I'm at my thought process, and I said this all along, is that they wasted those first two episodes. We need them now. Like all of that, like horsing around in those old shows, we could have used the time to develop the rest of this stuff because this is more important. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of things left open, and I don't know if they can really resolve everything. But yeah, it's going to be strange to see if they do a House of M, or if they even talk about mutants in this show, or if they just want to resolve this hex. And now you got Agatha Harkness that's trying to suck her power, and there's that other thing that we still have to introduce with the book that's glowing that they showed, and Ralph and all the other stuff that they dangled around.
Who is the rabbit? Who is Ralph? Magic is now a big part of this.
Well, they resolved the brother thing. All right. The brother thing was, she said, I'm not 100% sure. She said that she either animated somebody from that town to be her brother and controlled him, or she completely made that
Pietro.
Fake Pietro. She said it wasn't her literally, but it was her eyes and ears, and she made it seem like it was a possession spell. And she does mention she couldn't use her real brother because his body is full of holes and on another continent.
So I think it's just the guy that was living in that town. She basically cast him as
Nate,
Pietro.
any theories on who Pietro is?
Yeah, I think I agree with Rogue Boy. We're not gonna get like a House of M reintroduction to mutants, but I think that's the Pietro was kind of a nod to that people wanted that, and that was their way of like kind of winking at us. But we're not gonna get it from this.
Tease.
I think,
we don't. It's a roll of the dice, but like it really seems unlikely. That's all.
No, because it's this magic entrenched. We're dealing with magic things, so you got to think in the MCU. Like to introduce, make it mutants would be dilute this magic thing they're on. I don't know.
They could do it in one episode because, again, if chaos magic is spontaneous creation, I can think nothing better than creating mutants. But I don't think they'd want to ruin such a huge moment with just cramming it into one episode. So I also think the focus on this episode, aside from kind of retconning and kind of redoing Scarlet Witch's origin story, like my biggest question, my number one question on the show is not about Scarlet Witch anymore. Yeah. Is Agatha helping or not helping Scarlet Witch? That's the big question in my head. And my quick take, she is actually going to be a helper. I think the fact that they included her mother, and there's that line when she's talking to her mother, she's like, I can be good. And her mother says, no, you can. And then her mother tries to kill her, and then she kills her mother. Yeah. I think that was they could have done that whole like trial without the mother, and then it'd be like, yeah, she stole everybody's powers and she's a powerful witch.
Why is the mom
but that
there?
mother scene makes me think it's like some kind of like nod to maybe her now doing some kind of mother role and teaching magic to the Scarlet Witch. That's kind of, and if you look back at everything she's ever done, she's really only ever helped.
That's true.
And the only time she's maybe done something bad with like the dog dying or the kids, we don't even know if they're real yet still, right? So she might not have ever actually harmed anything that's not actually real. The only thing she ever did was keep the sword people away because she wants to get to the root of what this chaos magic is. So I think she might. I think she might not be the villain of the show. I think hopefully we're going to find out next episode who is.
I would agree with that too. Just to add on, I think it's possible we still get some sort of reveal in the last episode of like what's to come, new character, something. Like I think it's still possible. I think it's still kind of even likely we're going to get something like that. But I think after seeing this episode, I think the point of the show has come in focus for me in that this is more about closure for Wanda and with Vision, because I don't think Vision's going to last. I think this is the end for Vision.
Shit!
I think it gives her the closure of like, I have to move on. But I also think, as evidenced by the last line in the before the credits, this has been how Wanda, like we discover Wanda Maximoff actually becoming the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And becoming the character with all the powers, and also the character that's like fucking crazy in the comics. Very layered, very lots of different issues, lots of different things going on in her head. Kind of a wild card character.
Was Tony right to lock her up then in Civil War? He didn't even know what was bubbling under the surface.
Well, now we're getting into
I think he was, anyways.
A fake. We think about a fake character
being locked up. Okay, let's get to the post-credit scene, but to get there, amazing sequence and a lot of information here. We see when Wanda goes to get Vision's body from Sword and Hayward, and we find out that Hayward lied to Monica when he told her. I
got to say, I was completely wrong. Hayward is just a bad guy.
He's just bitter. He's just an asshole.
They've just lined it up the entire show, and I thought it was almost too obvious.
He could still be something else, not just him.
But what do you think that he was trying to do there with letting her into that room and seeing Vision all torn apart? Was he trying to get her to activate him and re-put them together?
Yes, because he lies to her and he says, we are dismantling a $3 billion vibranium weapon here. I can't let you put her in the ground. But then he's like, let her see him. And that moment where she's like, I can't feel you, is just fucking heartbreaking because
the line he says, though, before that, he's like, not everyone has the power to bring blah, blah, blah online. I'm sorry, I mean alive.
Yeah. So he wanted her to bring her back online.
Right.
To use as a weapon. And, remember when she's like, I just feel you, Vision, in Infinity War? And then she goes, I can't feel you. So she doesn't fucking take Vision and then drives to this lot that I guess, and also why is Agatha's house like right next to where he bought the house? Did she move in there before or after?
I think she just appeared when she felt the disturbance in the Force.
And creates this fucking thing. And at the end, post-credit scene, we see Hayward finally talk about his weapon, saying things like, we've been rebuilt this thing several times and all we needed was a little power from the source. They're using residual Wanda magic from the drone to activate White Vision.
Oh, shit.
Why is that drone the only thing that holds her power? Like, because remember I told you last week that you see the writing?
It's a little clunky.
Like, they just wrote that in. Like, okay, this thing's going to just hold on to her energy because we need it to. Like, it makes no sense.
It's a little convenient.
Especially since they could, go outside and siphon it from the force
fucking
field.
Hex, right? You have all this magic and you couldn't figure out.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's really lazy.
We have a vitiligo Vision. Finally, little vitiligo boy.
Representation
can look
has
up
come
forward.
as hit full circle.
This is what I look like naked.
Oh, shit.
I look like vitiligo Vision.
You like ball back?
Yeah, with the smooth front and everything. I look just like no nipples,
Nate's
everything.
just like repulsed. Why did I join this
quickly.
show? Wow.
Anyways, look, Vanilla Vision, clearly he doesn't have the Mind Stone. Whose fucking consciousness is he going to have? We'll get into the history in the comic books in a little bit, but he's not going to be the same Vision. Is he going to fight the other Vision?
It's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy Vision. And then is it going to be Vision versus Vision?
She's going to kill him again? 3
She has
times.
to kill him one
Third time's the
time.
charm.
Fucking hell.
I think you're seeing Vision versus Vision.
Maybe that's what Photon's gonna do.
Maybe.
Oh, and Monica Rambeau's got to do
like
some
she's
shit.
gonna kill Vision. So
Yeah,
to spare her from doing it.
I totally think that they're setting up Monica and then like Hayward and Hayward's creation, which would be the White Vision. And I think this show's all about trauma, and that line Hayward says about like, you don't get to have hope, or the people who didn't blip away,
right?
Like, they don't get to be hopeful because they experienced like 5 years of experience
He's
just losing
bitter.
everyone. Yeah,
he's just bitter. Maybe he's a bitter asshole. That's it.
He's no Ted Lasso, I'll tell you that.
He's no Ted Lasso. So what are the sides? You got Hayward and White Vision versus now possibly Wanda and Agatha and Vision and Monica.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we still don't know about Agatha. Like, she's currently, it ends the episode and she has her kids in like roped up. So
kind of like puppets. Did you catch that? Which I think was a nod to them being puppet hands in the comic books.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, they were puppets.
They were like, she was like, she had a string like a marionette puppet holding them back, kind of thing.
I like the hand in the slack hole.
Hand in the slack hole is always magical.
I like
weird though with little kids.
I was reading online so that her Agatha's rabbit is called Senor Scratchy.
Yes.
And Old Scratch or Mr. Scratch is a name for the devil. It's a nickname.
Oh.
So I think there could maybe be a tie-in with Mephisto. That's what I'm hoping. Good Lord. I hope that is the case. But
Ralph, the rabbit, is the rabbit Mephisto, and he's locked in there and she's trying to figure out how to help him? Like, I feel like she needs to help
someone. A really
someone.
weird reveal though. Like you've had this rabbit the entire time and it's actually the devil.
I think in the comics, there's her son's name is Nicholas Scratch also, and people are like, it might be him. I don't know.
I don't know, but I can't think it's Agatha that is the villain. I think it's going to be this kind of three-way, like Agatha and Scarlet Witch, and then a third. I think this a nice three-way combo would be great for this final.
Because she is her mentor in the comics, and they probably want to pull something from that. So we saw her parents. There's some questions. I guess I thought those people in the commercial were her parents. I don't know. Who are those people? Are we even going to find out? Is that going to connect? I don't know.
They're just people from commercials. They got
But
cast
it's
in
the
same
same
commercial.
commercial throughout the decades. There's got to be a reason.
I don't know. I think you're reading too much into it.
I might be.
Thematically, the point of the commercials makes sense, but I don't think the people, those are just like two people who are just trapped in like that role.
Yeah, I would agree with Nate on this one.
Yeah.
I think I've heard some stuff about like the parents and people being mad online, going, "God damn it! Like Magneto's not his dad, her dad. They didn't reveal that." I would say, be patient. Yeah. They've already kind of retconned that she's potentially a mutant. She gets fostered at a really young age.
Yeah,
Magneto certainly could have adopted her at some point and been her daddy along with Pietro's for like the extent of like their late childhood in the teenage years. So
sure,
it's possible. It's still that it's not out of the question. They might not reveal it in the next episode, but all those that are like, this proves Magneto, they're not going the Magneto route. I'm like, take a step back. We still got time.
Yeah. I love when the scene where she sees the Mind Stone, how it kind of goes
like
to her.
WandaVision, or like Wanda, like
Scarlet Witch. She sees her future self in the fucking thing, and the stone clearly is attracted to her and comes to her, so enhancing her inherent magic.
You know how you notice it edits the video, like when she edits out.
It got cut out just like in the broadcast. Yeah.
So a few things there too. In one of the comics, the previous Scarlet Witch was Wanda's mother. Did she see herself? Did she see a different Scarlet Witch?
That's a good question.
We don't necessarily even know that.
There was multiple Scarlet Witches, absolutely. A couple other Easter eggs, if you notice, in the box where all the DVDs are of the TV shows. She has a DVD of Malcolm in the Middle, her father does, but that's supposed to be like 1999, and the show didn't come out until the next year. So, it's nitpicky.
She got an early
screener. She was part of the fucking union there. I love when she goes, they're watching Malcolm in the Middle, and Vision is like, "Oh, is it funny because he got hurt?" It's like, no, he's not hurt. It's not that kind of show. But what a commentary on like sitcoms and comics where nobody dies.
What do you guys think of the explanation? It's minor, but it seems like the way they're explaining her accent is that she's learned English from the sitcoms, and that's when she's really trying to like be American. Is she puts the accent off?
It's been inconsistent, and I don't know. I just thought in the reality it goes away because it's the reality, and then outside it comes back.
Yeah. In Infinity War and Endgame, she has basically no accent.
No, it comes and goes. It's a little inconsistent.
At least they're like trying to somewhat.
They're connecting it a little bit. Yeah.
It's like when you get drunk, your accent comes out.
Yeah.
So, and the scene where Vision's body is dismantled looks like a scene from West Coast Avengers, where the White Vision was first introduced in the lab, and he is all taken apart. So let's get into the White Vision a little bit. His first appearance, 1989, West Coast Avengers 45 in the comic books. The governments of the world decided Vision was too dangerous and decided to mind wipe him, delete all his backups, take him apart. And then Wanda and the Avengers come in and save him, and they manage to put him back together. But he has none of his memories from the past, none of his personality. Wanda still kind of tries to be with him. It's hard because he's just cold and emotionless. And then eventually the regular Vision comes back as all fucking things do. But wouldn't it be funny if he started talking and it sounded like James Spader as Ultron? That'd be weird.
Oh, shit.
That would be funny. But it's like the look of it is great. And I always remember White Vision from the comics.
Speaking of Ultron, not to take this off your Easter eggs, but I'd love to. I've heard some theories online that Hayward is Ultron reincarnated.
Oh, I saw that one too. He could look like Hayward.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
If he's trying to restart himself or Vision or find a body for himself or something.
Right.
That's a possibility. I don't know. He said they mentioned Ultron 2 episodes ago. What else? The last thing is I found this article where the storyboards to that scene where she gets Vision's body, there's alternate dialogue. It's a little bit darker. She asks him, I'm sick of everyone acting like Tony Stark is the only person we lost, like he's the only Avenger there was. Too bad then if you're Natasha, but at least she was flesh and blood, right? Where are the memorials for Vision? No moving tributes for the Synthezoid? She's got a good point. That would have been interesting if she said that, but it was not in the show. But
Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. heard that was a line. He's like,
no, cut it.
Nope.
He doesn't work here anymore, but we have to listen to him for some reason. Sure thing. Okay, so I think we all agree that this is not going to wrap up next episode, but any theories for what you think is going to happen? I still think we're going to see Doctor Strange, the magic, the different forms of magic, the shapes his magic takes, shape her magic takes. He's somehow connected as
it's got to be Doctor
because it's leading into the movie. Nate, what do you hope to see, and what do you think you're going to see?
Yeah, I certainly hope for a Doctor Strange cameo.
Right?
I mean, from everything they say, this leads directly into the movie, so to me, it must be. But I guess we'll wait and see. Well, one last thing I noticed, and I don't know, this might be. I totally imagined this from overanalyzing, but I was rewatching the episode today, right before the show.
Yeah,
and when Agatha plucks the hair out of Wanda's head to go through her past, there's a very weird shaky cut. Almost like those parts where Wanda edited out parts of the show earlier in the show. And I rewatched it. I'm like, I thought maybe my Wi-Fi stuttered or something. I'm like, no, there's a weird, maybe it's nothing, or maybe there's a cut place there for a rewind or something. So I don't know. I'd be curious to see if anything comes of that, or if I'm just totally insane at this point and think everything is intentional.
Well, it's hard to tell with this show because they fuck with you. Because when they did that before, I was like, what happened to my stream? Oh, wait, that's in the fucking show. So a weird hard jump cut could mean something, could mean nothing.
Yeah, we'll see.
It also makes me think of if... I know Kevin Feige came out, he did this article, he did the TCA panel for the first time, which is the Television Critics Award. He's never done this. And he went there and he's like, there's going to be season 2s of certain series. WandaVision probably isn't one. Because I don't see how you could do another season with the TV shows. But I would like to see if there was lost episodes. Because it felt like Darcy was saying there was episodes of the shows that she had seen that we didn't, as the viewer, get to see. Was there other... that'd be a fun bonus, but it would be going back again. But I don't think we're getting a second season, which is fun.
I hope not. Westworld kind of showed us first season was amazing to analyze, and then it could not live up kind of attention to detail and twists, constant twists. It cannot be redone over and over again. It's very challenging. So I would hope not.
Yeah, the gimmick is done. The gimmick for this one's done.
I would say, as far as expectations, I would agree. I think we might get a Doctor Strange cameo. But I have no expectations. I'm kind of going into this Make me happy.
I want action.
You've made me happy this far. Is make me happy.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what's your best guess? Like, you got that's what's got to get resolved. Okay, finally, you have to figure out number one is Scarlet Witch going to let everybody out of the hex? Is she going to take it down herself? Like, is she going to release it, or does Agatha have to like kind of do something to make that happen, or does Vision realizing that he's not real, is that the thing that's going to stop this whole hex from happening? And then you have Monica Rambeau and White Vision to deal with, and Hayward and whatever. So there's a lot of things to tie up. And we still got that book, that glowy book that they cut to.
Yeah, was that the Darkhold? Was that, what magic book is that? I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm going to predict the hex does come down at the end of the episode. There's going to be a big fucking fight, of course, but I bet it ends on a fucking cliffhanger.
Does the hex expand and everybody gets powers, or does the hex implode and the people there get powers, or does nobody get power? There's a lot of like little things because they did it with Monica, in and out, and then her genealogy changed, and all of a sudden she's fucking Photon.
Fuck, what if it expands over the whole world? That'd be fucked up if they do that.
Are they just gonna drop that whole thing? They're just gonna her? No, it's just this drone gets magic on it, and just Monica Rambeau gets transformed, and no one else.
Because all those people should be mutants now by this logic.
Well, all of their
DNA is rewritten.
They should be getting scanned and them going, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this.
Well, she had to go in and then out and then back in, so 3 entries before she really got fully rewritten. So.
And then what if like being blipped also enhances something? Maybe just the people who are blipped and multiple entry. Like, does that factor in? Who knows?
It's a lot of thinking.
It's a lot of things going. But look, I'm just hoping for a big fucking blowout showdown entertainment, and at the end, I just want to be like, holy fuck!
Oh shit!
Like, and there will be things that aren't going to be wrapped up.
Do you think? Let's get time prediction. What do you think the time stamp is?
So apparently, from things I see, this is going to be the longest episode yet. But that doesn't mean much, as this last episode was maybe 36 minutes of actual content out of its whatever runtime.
45. Let's go 45
of content.
Yes.
So we need like a 55-minute runtime to get 45 minutes. But that's a lot to get through in that amount of time.
We shall see.
I'm see.
Pumped.
One more left.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks.
Ooh.
It stinks.
I'm just getting that now. Yikes. Here's the part where I read comments from you, listener, from our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. Got some reactions to episode 8. Bruce O'Hughes asks, do we even know who Jimmy Woo was looking for in Westview?
Oh,
you know what? That's a good fucking question. Who was he looking for? Does it matter?
I didn't even pay attention to what you just said.
Remember Jimmy Woo was looking for somebody. Who the fuck he's looking for? You son of a bitch.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
Jess? Anybody else care? No, I'm moving on. Jess Rivera. Anyone upset with the possibility of Magneto not being her father? We discussed this. It could be parents she made up like Westview, or it could be foster parents. It could still be Magneto, just like Anthony said.
Yeah, possible.
Bill Vincent says, love that they're getting more into magic. Also, West Coast Avengers Vision looks dope. Joe Henry, my question is, why did Hayward lie to Monica about Vision? That is a good question. Why would he show her edited video of Wanda making it look like she stole Vision?
Well, I think to Monica, I don't think she completely trusts Monica.
Oh, okay.
As you could see, like, Monica has her own sword conglomerate that trusts her and her mom. And there's different factions within Sword that believe. So I think she looks at Monica as like a threat. Because she's her mom's daughter.
I guess he was trying to get Monica to see Wanda as a threat.
Right.
But it didn't really work because she got to meet her.
And she gives him that underhanded compliment, like when the very first time she meets him, where of like, oh, like you were the best choice, you the only choice. And like I wasn't going to say it, you know. So it's like it doesn't mean they have a good rapport, even though they had that like friendly. That's like I talk to coworkers like that all the time. Doesn't mean I like them.
It's a little passive aggressive, maybe more aggressive. Peter Kendall, who was on the show a few episodes ago from How Do I Jump, says, I'm kind of calling that Wanda is going to want to learn more about her powers by the end, and we're going to get Doctor Strange cameo. Also, Imran, I want to ring the I called it alarm for Wanda basically being the battery for her vision. He was right. He did say that, remember? I didn't think that was the case. But
I don't even remember what I say on the show, so.
Well, but so I don't understand how this vision that she created has a conscious. Like, how? That's also magic? Just
it's chaos magic, bro.
It's chaos magic, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nexus.
You can't control it. Johnny Guns, new patron listener, tweeted at us. He said, at Jock and Nerdcast, at Really Rug Boy, digging the instant reaction casts, Imran, thank you. And yes, Marvel has introduced vitiligo vision, but the question still remains. Does this vision also wear shoes without socks?
Oh, shit.
Hashtag WandaVision. Hashtag
I saw him.
Impeach Imran, which is our most popular hashtag to use. Impeach Imran.
Well, the Vision's wearing boots, and I don't think he's wearing socks.
This is a deep cut callback. I think Anthony started choking because he was laughing at this question. Is that what happened?
I choked on some water.
What? Because this is a deep cut of a question?
No, impeaching Imran.
Hashtag impeach Imran. Gotcha. Okay. That's always funny. But, that was like 2 summers ago. I didn't with the socks and the shoes. Whatever. Great reference.
I can't believe that. Yeah, that is a very deep cut.
That's a fucking great reference.
Nate, just for reference, Imran made the argument to us that you don't need socks.
They're unnecessary.
They're unnecessary.
It's a
articles of clothing.
Well,
so.
when your skin's vibranium, like definitely not. But
Right.
for you, Imran, probably.
What about human skin?
Yeah, no, please.
Listen, I have vitiligo. It's like vibranium. It's kind of like vibranium. It starts with a V also. I'll be fine. So
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, okay, if you're wearing like these canvas like boat shoes, you're good. But he's like wearing like fucking like real leather shoes.
Yeah, dirty sneakers and shit.
I was
he's
rocking
like
the Don
that hipster
Johnson
thing.
Miami Vice look from the fucking.
You're wearing wingtips with no
80s.
socks.
I got penny loafers.
It doesn't work. No,
I got
don't
penny
do that.
loafers with a dime in there.
You have a very kind wife whenever you take off those shoes.
I don't think
she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't show her. I just kind of sneak in and don't look
Very
at my
kind.
feet. Hashtag impeach Imran. Daryl K. Okay, this is moving into something we're going to kind of segue into. What are we watching? Daryl K asks, any plans to do an instant reaction or review of Superman and Lois episodes? Because this show is seriously the best live action Superman content in a very long time.
Oh, shit.
Wow. So a lot of people checked the show out. Seemed like a lot of people dug it. I want to share Delhauer, our buddy Matt Delhauer, very smart individual. Love his opinions. Here's what he had his thoughts of the pilot, and then we'll get into our thoughts a little bit. He said the pilot of Superman and Lois was great. The show felt very different to what we are used to seeing come out of the CW. Ultimately refreshing in terms of what we've seen in Superman for nearly a decade now. It was cinematic, it had heart, genuine and believable characters, and was more competently acted than anything I've seen from the channel in quite a while. It has also proved, as I've shouted for years, that the modern and engaging Superman story can exist with its own bits of gritty realism while still maintaining the heart of the characters it is portraying and even delving into some of the fantastical. They took Snyder's cinematography and gave it an adaptation more worthy of it. Check this one out. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Big recommendation from the Delhauer. Let's just go into what are we watching, guys. Anybody else check out this show at all?
I watched it.
You watched it. Anthony, probably not.
I've not, no.
Nate, I know you're not a Superman fan. Did you see this was on?
I've heard a lot of hype about it, but no, I've not. Superman's just not my thing.
Ruggs, you want to go first? What'd you think overall, real quick, of this? It was like an hour and a half pilot.
I'm gonna have to agree with Matt here.
Oh shit! What?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think it's hold on a second. I'm like, it's the best thing on the CW in a while, which is not saying much.
Okay.
All right, so it's probably the best thing that the CW has put out since the first Arrow pilot.
Okay, yeah.
It was well acted. It felt like there was some grounded realism to it. There was some emotion there. Like the guy who plays Superman, actually, you felt things for him. You're like, oh, you feel sympathetic, or you feel bad for Superman, or you like understand that like his mother dies. I just spoilers for everyone. But spoiler alert. Yeah, and he's got to go and deal with that whole thing. So it's like it was a good kind of well-grounded episode of Superman. It wasn't like all this. It wasn't like this garish, what do you call it? Like campy and shit. Like it was just kind of like matter of fact Superman. Like he's this guy and everybody needs him, and then he has 2 kids, and the kids are like they're discovering their powers, I guess. So it's interesting. It had something interesting to it.
I thought it was not bad. I kind of tapped out. Me, the person that tried to watch every goddamn CW episode of every show for many years, had tapped out at the CW. Hey, they started out good, Nate, and then it was just like, who's still watching this 7 years? Do you have a favorite CW show at all that you liked?
OG Arrow was.
Yeah, OG Arrow that's the best one. That honestly was.
That was fun. OG Arrow and then Flash for a couple seasons was
Flash
good.
in the beginning, Legends in the beginning. It was kind of fun. Okay, so it's kind of interesting in the angle they're taking. It's filmed kind of like a Zack Snyder Man of Steel. This is a Superman part of life we really haven't seen. The setup is he's married to Lois, and they have twin boys, Jordan and what's the other one? Jonathan, right? And then we already give spoilers. The twist is like you think Jonathan Kent. One is he's like a jock who plays football, Jonathan, and Jordan is more of an introverted outcast, kind of socially awkward. And Jonathan is very good at football, and you think he's the one who's going to have powers. It turns out it's the other kid. But you have a Superman here who has to talk about mortgages and land leases, and so not the most exciting stuff all the time. He's moved to the farm, and they're going to start living there. But it's a Superman's time of his life I've never seen on TV, and it was heartfelt. And Tyler Hoechlin, he's a fucking good Superman. Like, Henry Cavill, sometimes a little, like, too hunky. It's distracting. This guy is, like, just in the middle. Like, he's good looking, but you kind of believe him, and you feel bad for him. And he has such hopefulness. Like, in the beginning, he's wearing a suit that's modeled after, like, the old school Fleischer cartoon suit, which is great. And this kid goes, "Love your outfit." He goes, "Thanks, my mom made it for me," and takes off as Superman. And it's just like so wholesome and cheesy. So he channels like the Christopher Reeve a little kind of well and does his own thing.
His acting compensates for his looks. I think.
Yeah.
Because he has kind of like, he's not like a bad looking dude or anything at all, but he's got like a villain face.
He does have kind of a villain face, yes.
Because he's been villains in shows before, so I haven't cast him that way.
Yeah.
Other people have cast him that way. But like, he disarms you with his acting, I guess, and his approach to the character. So I think that he does a good job in that respect.
I was surprised. It was better. It was a little better than I thought it would be. I might stick around and watch a couple more episodes. Nate, anything you watched that you'd like to recommend or trash or heard or played or anything?
Well, I don't know if you guys are big anime fans, but the trailer for My Hero Academia Season 5 came out recently, and it looks pretty good. So I would, if your fans are into that, I would check it out.
What's the deal with that show? Why do people love it so much?
It's like the newest shonen show that's like good, some of the other ones, I don't know. And it's also recent, One Piece has 1 million episodes, Naruto has 1 million episodes, but this is only in like its 5th season. And then just really relatable characters, I'd say, because it's a lot of like, it's a lot of students with like, some of them have lame powers, but they're still effective. Like one of them is just a girl that is like a frog. That's her power. Yeah. And, like not in the cool like X-Men way, but just like she's a frog. Some guy has like sticky things that stick to his head. That's it.
That's great.
So it's just fun. Like it's almost relatable. Like I'd be one of those. Like I wouldn't have a cool power. Like I would get like long eyelashes that would like create a light breeze or something.
I can extend my eyelashes.
Right. So it's just a fun show. But the end of season 4 had a really climactic, like really awesome ending, and it's worth checking out for sure. That and then of course Demon Slayer. Cannot wait for that movie to hit the US. Oh my goodness.
That's breaking records over there.
Yeah, it's now topped. I think all of the what's the like Spirited Away, all those movies, like that was like the #1 movie over there in Japan and for animated movies, and it now is Demon Slayer's on top of that. It beat that, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, what's the international box office of Demon Slayer? It's like is it billions yet, or is it
what? Really?
Look, it's huge. It's big.
350 million. That's what this is. Demon Slayer box office.
It hasn't come here yet.
What?
And it's one of those like animated movies. It's just like the animes have these movies that don't even like relate to the story sometimes, and like it's just one of those that is like killing it. It's crazy.
This article from when is it? Oh, December when it came out. Said Demon Slayer became Japan's biggest box office hit of all time over the weekend, pushing Miyazaki's Spirited Away into second place. Holy shit! It made $350 million. Japan's biggest hit. I gotta check this out whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I mean that's a gargantuan hit. It's
damn
huge.
Good tip.
That's
there.
like it. That's more than Disney movies do over there.
Yeah. Wow.
Anything else?
Well, Anthony, you watched the Golden Globes. I kind of wanted to get the highlights. We had some big MCU talent get some big awards, some future, some present, some past.
What was the highlights? I mean, it was a pretty shitty show overall. They did not do a very good job with the Zoom.
Oh my God, there was technical difficulties and
I mean the
stuff.
whole appeal of the Globes is like you watch these actors and actresses just get drunk and make stupid speeches, but they can't do that because they're not hosting them live at the open bar.
They can still get drunk though at home.
Yeah, but it's just not the same. It was just. I mean, overall, it was a shitty show. There were some surprises. The best actress win for Andra Day was crazy. The best supporting actress win for Jodie Foster was crazy. But then we kind of like Chloe Zhao won, Chadwick Boseman won, Nomadland won. So some clarity in some stuff, but some crazy shit in the other ones.
A lot of history being made. Chloe Zhao becoming a second woman to win Best Director, first woman-directed movie to win Best Picture, first Asian American woman to win.
It's weird, though. Like, the Globes have been, like, this thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And then there was an article, probably, like, last week or the week before, that, like, the Globes are just, like, they have no black members, even though they're the Hollywood foreign press. So it's, like, people from all these countries, yet no one's black. And it's only like 87, 90 people.
Yeah, it's only 87 people choosing this. There's been a joke for a while.
It's been like, and the only reason like it was a thing was just because like it's a party. But like now it's like, okay, you can't do the party. And you really like don't mean anything in the midst of like, it's just 90 people with like questionable credentials. Right. And like a lot of these people are paid off to like vote for stuff. So like, it's just a weird thing that the Globes was a phenomenon that it is.
It's in between the Emmys and the Oscars, and the Globes is like both. Pick a lane, Globes. You get to reward TV
Globes
or movies.
Gets like some of their like ratings haven't really gone down.
No,
like,
I
been
just
really good.
saw a story, lowest multi-year low this year for ratings for
this year.
5.4 million viewers. So you and Gerald Morris.
Me and Gerald Morris
the only person. Nate, you an award show guy? Do you follow any of this?
Goodness, no, I don't care. It's kind of like Greek gods just like betting on us like mortals. Like it doesn't matter to me.
But even with the Globes, Anthony, like they always have these picks. They try to be different from the other awards. So the stuff you think they're going to pick, sometimes they want to go the other way just because they already got an award at the other awards, or it's an Oscar favorite.
Like from my research, since I've never really watched the Globes, they usually pick like
this.
Like the most popular, or maybe like the like most starry pick. But some of their picks this year were like a little weird. It was a bad show though. It really wasn't fun to watch. It was fun to watch, but it was fun because I've just nerded out for the past year in the movies. But
Wait
if you
till
were
the
a
Oscars.
casual person, it was not fun to watch.
I thought Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were funny. They made a lot of fun of the Hollywood Foreign Press and the Golden Globes on the Golden Globes in the beginning. I like when they make fun of the award show because it is just silly sometimes, but a lot of speculation for the Oscars. So we'll see how those winners shake out.
Yep. I got one more.
What do you got?
I just started watching this old show, 2017's Future Man on Hulu.
I love Future Man. Geek movie.
I'm having a good time with it. There's some really horrible writing.
Yeah, but it's fucking funny. Even when it's dumb and stupid, it's fucking funny.
Yeah, it is dumb and stupid, but yes, it does make me laugh.
That's why it's good, dumb, stupid humor.
I've been sticking with it, even though I'm like, wow, this... And this, I make this point all the time. Comedies can just get away with any kind of stupid writing because as long as it's funny, then it doesn't matter. And that's exactly this personification of this show. It's about a guy who plays a video game and he beats the video game. And as soon as he beats the video game, people from the future come back to get him because they need his skills to be the savior of the future. and hilarity ensues. People switch dicks. There's a lot of fun stuff.
Listen, I recommended this show. None of you fuckers remember. Like 3 years ago when it came out, I was like, "Oh my god, Future Man is hilarious." The first season is better than the second season, but they're both good.
Well, this is what's happened with Corona. I'm going into shit that I never would even waste time with. So maybe a function of Corona, me having like so much time that needs to be filled with other stuff, or there's nothing new coming out that's cool, I guess. Because, production has halted this whole year.
Yeah, there's a whole...
So there is a gap of stuff, and I'm like, okay, I need something to fill the gap. That's why I watched that fucking show with Katie Sackhoff, another fucking life. I watched that shit. Oh, my God,
wait, I had one more real quick. For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus, second season started. I just binged like all 10 episodes of the first fucking season. It's from Ronald Moore, the guy who did Battlestar Galactica. This is a fucking great show. It starts out a little slow, but oh boy, does it get into cliffhangers. And it just is, it's an alternate history where the Russians land on the moon first. They beat NASA. They get up there first. They get a woman up there first. America has to scramble and figure out how to stay ahead. And then just this alternate history happens, and it's really, really good. I was like, holy fuck, I couldn't stop watching the fucking show.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Maybe I'll check that out, too.
Nate, thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. I hope you had fun.
It was a blast, man. I really enjoyed being on the show, chatting with you guys, and I'm looking forward to see if any of our predictions come true next episode of WandaVision.
Probably none of them. Will you tell the listener where they can find you, what you want them to do, what you got coming up on Nat1 Presents?
Yeah, check us out. We have our podcast is on every single channel you have: Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts rather, and Google Podcasts. So just Nat1 Presents is the name of the podcast. And yeah, if you like role play, if you like improv, if you want to find out about the Kool-Aid Man's probation officer or Willy Wonka's lawyer, and just ridiculous situations like that, these are like the crazy characters we play. So give us a listen and check out our site. Yeah.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. It's very important. I just Willy Wonka line.
I know that. What? Okay.
He just mentioned Willy Wonka's lawyer. That was the callback.
We'll work that into our next bit.
Yes, make sure you say snozberries. I did listen to him.
I just like that there was crickets. Oh my god! I wish I had. I
might have to edit in crickets now in that spot. Oh, you got to. But I did listen to your most recent episode. Was that you, Nate, or the other Nate? Where you were? It was the dues of DMing.
Oh yeah, that was the other Nate. Yep,
that was the other Nate.
Yep.
But very informational, because in this world, DMing means a whole other thing. Not mean what you think it means. But if you want to be a dungeon master, they had a lot of good points, because I've been told, a lot of people have told me that you would make a really good dungeon master, and I was like, I never fucking played this once, but thanks.
Absolutely. Your enthusiasm and you switching between the different co-hosts on your show, that's exactly what a dungeon master does with players. So you would be fantastic. But do you like enforcing rules is the question.
So I guess you just play God, right? You could just
basically
do whatever
it would all
you
go
want.
to your head, actually. Probably.
I might actually like this. I might hit you guys up, get through a mission. I know people in the Facebook group are like, let's do a D&D thing. So we'll see what happens. But thank you so much. All those links will be in the show notes, listener. You can check out all that stuff. Visit jockandnerd.com/371. Rugboy, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugboy. Come by and say what's up.
Subscribe to the show, listener. That way you never miss a show. And the most important thing, share this with a friend. Geek out with your neighbors. Run over to your neighbor, knock on the door, give him one of these with a mask on, and then run away. And see if he doesn't call the cops on you. It's a fun game to play. So far, I have never not had the cops called on me. So I'm batting 1,000. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the Nerd.
We'll catch you next time.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Fuck's sake, man, you amateur. My balls was hot.
Jock and Nerd.